Welcome, welcome. I'm John. Today we're talking about Burgundy. Burgundy is located about 2.5 hours southeast of Paris, and it is known as the wine capital of the world. It is renowned for its Pinot Noir and for its Chardonnay. Now remember, in Europe, we use this other style of naming wines. So whenever we say a red Burgundy, we mean a Pinot Noir. Whenever we say white Burgundy, we mean Chardonnay. This is something that was basically born of the idea that wine should match to a place. Red Burgundy, Pinot Noir, is one of the most difficult grapes to grow. It has a very thin skin, and it needs the perfect weather. And in fact, it was a mere 600 years ago that the official rules were put in place that all the Burgundy in red Burgundy needs to be Pinot Noir. In Burgundy, we have 4 different levels of wines. First thing we have is a regional wine. This is the one you'll typically buy in a grocery store. It will say Bourgogne, they'll say Burgundy, something like that. It is from the region. The next level of classification is a village wine. It comes from a specific village and a parcel within that village. Next, we have Grand Cru. Now we're starting to get into the more costly wines. These come from a parcel that has been designated as one of the top parcels, and then we have 33 Grand Cru vineyard parcels, and those are known as the best in the world. To use an example, Domaine Romanée Conti, that is an extremely expensive wine. In fact, you could just walk right up to the vines, and we actually did that the other day. And these bottles of wines are extremely expensive, running from several thousands of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars because of how special they are. Now, giving some context, the wine history here relates back to the Roman times. And in fact, a lot of these wine cellar caves were created by Romans for various reasons, whether they're Roman baths, whether they were military purposes, and they just have the absolute perfect makeup to be wine cellars. Now, there's a couple key areas of Burgundy that you need to know about. One is Chablis. Now, this is the northernmost part of Burgundy, and it's really known for its crisp, kind of mineral-driven Chardonnay. And the reason it is so kind of unique and special is it was underwater, right? I mean, thousands and millennia ago. And those millions of years ago, there was fossilization that was done. And so there are a number of pockets. Now, most of those are actually oysters. They're literally oyster shell pockets, fossils inside the ground. And those are something that give a special character to the wine. Chablis is generally drunk young, but there are Grand Crus there, and those Grand Crus can last for longer. They don't use as much oak barreling. They're easier to taste, they're easier to drink, and they're very popular throughout the world. Now, the heart of Burgundy is really the Côte d'Or. So this is a ridge that runs across, and it is the Golden Ridge, and there are 2 parts. On the northern part, we have Côte des Nuits, and this part of it is generally known for its red wine. Remember, Pinot Noir. As you move south, you get to Beaune and the Côte de Beaune, which is famous for white wines and Chardonnay. Now, in each of these 2 locations, you will see some of the other variety. And so it is not always the case that the north is red and the south is white, but it's a good kind of a reference. Now, why is this kind of special land? First of all, this ridge was formed millions of years ago because of tectonic activity. And so that means that basically the soil got pushed up and the ground is all different as a result because it comes all the way up from underneath. And so you get different types of soil throughout the area. And listen, this is a historic place. If you go back more than 1,000 years, these were all monastic vineyards, and they were managed by the monks. In fact, Charlemagne gave a gift of Corton Charlemagne, which is a very famous hill, to a number of religious orders, and this area still makes some of the finest wine in the world and is home to some Grand Crus. Now, there's different types of Burgundy wine producers. So the whole kind of cog runs under the idea of negociants. These are business people who buy grapes from various growers. So you might have these family plots that are very, very small within a parcel of land. That family will farm it, and then they will sell the grapes to the negociant, who will produce wine under their own labels. And then you have some domains, and so these tend to be family-owned estates, and they grow grapes and they make wine from their own vineyards. And so the face of Burgundy is changing, but it is really still the last bastion of family-owned plots. Back during the Napoleonic days, it became the law that you had to pass your land down through the family, and it continually got subdivided as each child was entitled to their own piece of the land. Burgundy is the heart of French wine country, and there is a range of wines at various price points, but these are definitely on the more expensive side. There's a rich heritage. There is a unique terroir. It is a very, very important aspect to the Burgundians that you appreciate, that their land and their climates and their methods of making wine are so special. It's really a fascinating region for novices who are trying to compare Pinots from the United States to those from France, but it's also the place where the connoisseurs come and pay the big bucks for wine.